During the Korean War, Seoul was a very important point of strategy. It had many positive qualities such as rail lines, which were easy to get to, industrial center, and communications hub. The tragedy of losing Seoul to the North Koreans was triumphed by the brave soldiers that fought back to retake Seoul. The battles for Seoul were a tragedy and a triumph to both sides of the perspectives, the North and the South. In the Korean War, the two sides were evenly matched, with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and the Korean People's Army fighting for North Korea, and the south side of Korea having the Republic of Korea and the Republic of Korea Army to defend. It is clear that the North Koreans are a democratic people and the South were a republic. Their first attempt towards North Korea attacking on Seoul was spontaneous, catching the Republic of Korea by surprise. Spooky, right? But despite this attack, the ROKA was able to fend off the invaders and keep Seoul to themselves, with a little bit of damage. However, the South did it bad when the chief of ROKA general called to blow up a set of bridges. ROKA Chief of Staff General Chae Pyong-duk ordered 4 bridges spanning the Han River to be destroyed, expecting the ROKA forces to have crossed them. However, the engineer who was in charge of this operation decided to be forward-thinking and blow up the bridges early. What they didn't expect were hundreds of civilians crossing the bridges to refuge. This costed 500 to 800 civilians to have drowned in the Han River, a major tragedy on the south side. Along with that, the ROKA haven't crossed the bridges yet, so when they arrived to the river to see the bridges destroyed, they had to drop their heavy equipment and their weapons to cross the river. Without their heavy equipment and weapons to fight back, this added a huge advantage to the North Korean forces, causing the North to overpower and conquer Seoul. The South were defeated, so they decided to call in help from the stronger, better friends, the USA. The U.S. sent in General Douglas MacArthur to make wiser and better educated decisions. His first order was to claim the Kimpo airfield, a few miles out from Seoul. A few good tactics and a victory later, the Kimpo airfield doth been claimed by the South Korean army. With this as a new vantage point, General MacArthur was able to call in American and Korean forces to resupply, deploy troops, and to refuel aircrafts and other military transportations. On the 28th night of September, the South attacked onto Seoul with better resources, reclaiming Seoul for the South Korean army. With the celebration of their victory, the South Koreans triumphed over the tragedy of losing one of their most important cities.
On January 12, 1950, a speech from the U.S.'s side was made to the National Press Club. Dean Acheson, Secretary of the United States at the time, was discussing the relationship between the U.S. and the U.S. lands outside of the country, where he states, "So far as the military security of other areas in the Pacific is concerned, it must be clear that no person can guarantee these areas against military attack. But it must also be clear that such a guarantee is hardly sensible or necessary within the realm of practical relationship. Should such attack occur, one hesitates to say where such an armed attack could come from. The initial reliance must be on the people attacked to resist it, and then upon the commitments of the entire civilized world under the Charter of the United Nations, which so far has not proved a weak reed to lean on by any people who are determined to protect their independence against outside aggression. But it is a mistake, we think, in considering Pacific and Far Eastern problems to become obsessed with military considerations. Important as they are, there are other problems that press, and these other problems are not capable of solution through military means. These other problems arise out of susceptibility of many areas and many countries in the Pacific area to subversion and penetration that cannot be stopped by military means." So basically, Acheson had said if someone were to attack South Korea, they would not do anything, especially anything to waste military power on like that, what they try to put as South Korea. It is not confirmed, but this entire speech might have been a bait for North Korea into attacking the South to try to overtake it when they heard that the United States did not care at all. The purpose of this speech was obviously to lure North Korea into attacking the South, but if this was not a setup, the United States might have caused the Korean War on accident. Furthermore, the speech said by Don Acheson influenced the war which was presumed to spark the attack on South Korea 6 months later.